Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from Palo Alto, California, and the U.S. Men's National Team Training Camp ahead of the 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Today we're joined by defenders Tim Ream and John Tolkin. As always, if you'd like to get in the queue to ask a question, you can do so by virtually raising your hand. For those of you here in Palo Alto, the national team training tomorrow, 10:45 a.m. at the Stanford University Soccer Stadium. Mixed zone at 10:45. Training at 11:30, open for the first 15 minutes. We'll begin with questions and start with Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, guys. My question's for Tim. After a result like Tuesday's, how do you go about manufacturing confidence again within the group? I mean, is it one-on-one meetings? Do you meet in small groups? I mean, how do you go about going through that process?
I think it's a lot of individual conversations, but also then small group conversations, as you mentioned. I've talked to a few guys, and I think above all, it's a learning experience. A lot of these guys haven't faced that type of competition before. That level, that type of team, a team from who's been together for a long time and done very, very well. And again, it's one of those that you look at it and you analyze it and you recognize that it wasn't good enough. But it's also you can take so many different learning experiences from it. What is it going to take to get to that level for a lot of these guys, and what do you have to do day in and day out to be able to put those things right? And really, like I said, just use it as a learning experience, as hard as it is in that immediate moment after, and how terrible it feels to to lose the way we did and play the way we did. It's something that you just have to take on board and understand what it takes to get to that level and compete at that level.
Next will be Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Thank you, Michael. This one's for J-My. Obviously, when you look at the fullbacks in this camp, I think you might actually be the one with the most senior national team experience. And when you look at that position, obviously you have guys on different sides, but there's a push and pull that has to go on when you're playing at left back or right back. So like when we're looking at that group, how are you guys kind of guiding each other through these moments? And what are the ways that you guys are all kind of developing chemistry as a back line, considering that you're all pretty new to this?
Yeah, I think I would have the most experience in terms of first team appearances, but I think that's kind of what this Gold Cup has been about, giving opportunities for everybody, and I think Tim touched on it a bit as well. It's a learning experience for everybody. It's always a learning experience for everybody, even myself included. But yeah, I mean, I've played with Nate before, obviously with Alex and Max. I haven't really been around them much. So yeah, me and Nate talk a lot. I think with Max and Alex, they've been doing really well, and yeah, just keep progressing. And it's still early in this camp, and we have a whole tournament to get through. And there's a lot of positives and things to learn from the last two games. So yeah, it's just about building, and I think the biggest thing is not beating ourselves up too much. We know obviously we're very disappointed, and we know it's not good enough, and it's not the standard we want to be playing at. But the second you start getting too negative and kind of self-defeating yourself, I think things can go very south. So we still have to look for these three group stage games and kind of develop together and build momentum, and it's on our home soil, so we want to bring that trophy home.
Next will be Sanjay Sujanthakumar.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, guys, for doing this. One for each of you. Tim, we haven't seen a left-footed left back really establish himself as Jedi's backup or push him for minutes, obviously. Could you talk about what you've seen from J-My in this camp so far and what you think you can add to the team? And then for you, J-My, anything you're learning from a veteran defender like Tim about how to go about, going forward on the left side and tracking back as well? Thanks.
Nothing like putting us on the spot, huh? No, listen, for me, I was really looking forward to January camp and actually getting a better understanding of his game, just watching it from afar previously, and understanding what his tendencies are and how he likes to play and where he likes the ball. And it was a little bit bittersweet in January seeing him head off early, but playing the other night for those 45 minutes, just seeing the work rate. Obviously, he's come in a little bit later than the rest of us, but head down, hard worker. Aggressive, good with the ball, and it's that kind of that mentality that he has that has kind of seen him progress consistently through the last couple of years and seen him make the move to Europe. So just enjoying, like I said, just enjoying finally getting to play and understand not just him but all the guys who we've not had a lot of reps with. So like I said, a good 45 minutes, albeit in a not great situation last week, but on Tuesday, but really looking forward to continuing to create that connection on the left side.
That's so sweet of you.
I know, you're welcome.
No, for me, over the years I've played with, I think, experienced guys, maybe less experienced guys, and the biggest thing I felt was just the presence and experience of Tim and the constant communication and organization, and I think you saw some of that in the second half, just overall with the team and our shape and all that sort of stuff. But also I love playing next to a lefty. I feel like there's a intangible connection always. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, and then there's always that Red Bull connection too. So yeah, I think there's a lot of intangible things that are cool and work for me and give me a good feeling playing next to Tim. And I think just overall all the experience he has is really helping me a lot. And I also, like I said, being left-footed, I think we both kind of understand the tendencies of a left-footed player and where we want to pop up and stuff like that. So we'll see how it keeps developing, and I'm excited, and it's been a good start so far.
We'll go to Mike Boitala from Soccer America.
Thanks. John, can you talk a little bit about your experience in Germany with Holstein Kiel? Maybe what you enjoyed about Germany, what you learned, the challenges of playing in the Bundesliga, and then how your role with the national team might be similar or different than what you had at Holstein Kiel.
Yeah, it was really great. Obviously, the way the season ended is not what I had anticipated, but I knew that going there in the first place, in my eyes, it was I wanted to get over there and really give it everything I had and try it out. The soccer player in me would be really disappointed if I didn't go for it, and I stayed in New York and was comfortable and whatnot. So the overall play over there is a high level, and I thought our team in particular, we created a lot and we scored a lot of goals, but we just conceded too many, and I think there was a little bit of inexperience. It was obviously their first year in the Bundesliga, so I think that comes with more experience. Maybe you can retain class retention. Is that the word? Yeah. So overall it was really great. The culture shift, I kind of adjusted pretty quickly, and it was awesome. And then in terms of if you compare the national team to Kiel, I think at Kiel towards the end of the season I almost dropped into I don't want to say a back three, but I was dropping a lot lower to receive the ball and kind of find solutions to build out. I think so far here, I think it's been a little bit more advanced up the field. So I don't mind doing either. I really like both. I don't have really a preference or anything, and I'm willing to do whatever.
Next is Charlie Bone from MLSsoccer.com.
All right, guys, thanks for speaking today. I have one for each of you. John, if you could follow on from what you just said, I was wondering if you could give us a little bit of a taste of what the cultural off-field life has been for you in Germany, how you're experiencing that, and whether you think you'll stay or want to stay in that culture, or whether you could be, anywhere across Europe come fall. And then, Tim, with your experience, I wanted to ask if you could kind of contextualize this moment. I'm sure you guys have seen there's a lot of concern. I think the nature of that first half the other night has freaked a lot of fans and pundits out. So how does this moment compare to the previous experiences, or maybe highs or lows you've experienced in and around the national team, and how do you sort of get it going in the right direction, and what would your message be?
You want to go?
You can go.
The German culture is interesting. I think the strangest thing for me was when I after a few months of being there, when you walk into the morning to see your teammates, you kind of just say, hey, what's up? But I would always walk in and say, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing? And I remember one of my teammates was like, why the hell are you asking me how I'm doing? Like, we don't care. So for me, this is like a weird thing for me. I usually always say that to everybody, and I was like, dang, like I do care, but I won't ask you that anymore. So I don't want to say like Germans are cold, but that was just new for me. I think maybe they're more reserved and keep to themselves more, but that's okay. In terms of just the football culture, though, it's incredible. I think our situation, like I said, was unique. We needed to win, get points every single week, week in, week out. So that grind and pressure was certainly, a step above what I had experienced in MLS. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the club, the guys. We'll see what the future holds. Obviously, I would love to be playing at the highest level possible. It has to be the right place and the right team. But we'll see what happens.
All right. I think John, J-Mi said it earlier, it's one of those things that, and I've seen it so many times in my career, as you know, it's, you don't play and go through a career without having so many ups and downs and negative moments and negative words and people saying this and people saying that and opinions left, right, center coming at you from, forward, behind. And I think that the overarching message for us is like, this is our group right now. This is who we have to rely on. This is, each one of us has to have each other's back. And we all have to stick together. Anything that's being said outside is it's cliche, but it's noise. There's nothing we can do about what people say. There will always, no matter whether you play the greatest game of your life or the worst game of your life, there will be opinions on each of them, and people will have opinions. Someone will say, oh, he's played amazing, and another person can say, oh, he had a 1 out of 10, right? And it could be the same exact game, and it's everybody's looking at different things. And I think that, like I said, the biggest message is for us, we have to stick together. What happened. These things they happen in this game. It has a funny way of knocking you down when you most need it. And it also has a funny way of kind of building slowly and having a slow burn type of feel. So I think I'm again trying to tell the guys, this is new to a lot of people. It's new to a lot of guys, and it's just a matter of, right, let's just put our heads down and we back each other up. Communication as high as it possibly can be, and we get through it. It's a storm, and you can either run from it, you can hide from it, or you put yourself back out there and you say, okay, we're going again. This is it. We're going back out on the training ground. We're going back out on the pitch. And what are we doing today? What are we doing today to get better? What are we doing tomorrow to get better? What are we doing in this game that will help us win the game? And that's all you can do. You can't focus on everything that's being said around you, and that goes for even close family and friends. It's you have to rely on the guy sitting next to you and the guy sitting across from you and the guys that you have on the field. And that's what we have to do, and that's that's all we can do.
We'll take 2 more questions and continue with Becky Sullivan.
Hey guys, thanks for doing this. You can hear me okay?
Yep.
Great. So just following on that, Tim, just to turn that to John, Tim was saying this is new to a lot of people. It's new to a lot of the guys. Obviously, you're one of the younger guys, especially compared to how much experience Tim's got with the team. Can you just kind of follow through on that, just like what this moment is feeling like to you? What kind of conversations you're having with the other guys on the team, especially kind of those younger guys who are new to it?
Yeah, to be honest, the chaos of going through relegation has kind of helped me. I think it's kind of a chaotic time right now, and like Tim said, I think it's really it sounds maybe like we're lying or something, but you really just have to look to the guy next to you, and it's just fight for the guys each training session, each match, because what you see online, all that media, all the opinions, it's impossible this day not to see it. but yeah, like I said, you really have to lean to the guy to the left and right of you and trust that they're going to work their ass off for you. And yeah, we have a huge opportunity right now to kind of change the narrative and yeah, set the focus towards the World Cup coming up next summer, and that's to win this tournament. And yeah, that's what we want to do. And in order to do that, you kind of have to block out all that other noise and focus on all the people in this room and in the locker room and the coaching staff and the training staff and yeah, all the people we're traveling with together and who are working really hard to get us prepared for these games. So if we can do that, I think you're going to see success on the field and yeah, hopefully lighter spirits all around.
I don't know, you guys are pretty good spirits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm trying to say.
Last question comes from Andrew Jones.
Thanks, Michael. As always, first for you, J-Mod, with Kevin over there as well as Joe. Obviously, Gio, did you have a chance to interact and talk with them and how they help you with transitioning to the Bundesliga? And for you, Tim, with the Club World Cup going on at the same time, FIFA at least mandated that the players participating with their clubs couldn't play as in the Gold Cup. Do you feel that FIFA has been a little bit weird with this Club World Cup, not taking precedent over an actual regional competition from one of the federations? So for you first, J-Mo.
Yeah, really fun for me. Obviously, it's Kevin, James Sands, Scally, Gio. It was awesome to see them and catch up with them and kind of talk about how their seasons have been going and their living situations outside of the training ground. And yeah, it's I think for all of us still a learning experience, and we kind of collaborate and compare and what we don't like, what we do like, that sort of thing. I think it's very different in general to America. So there's a lot of things we can laugh about together and yeah, so it was really cool when I got to see Gio for the last game of the season, which was nice. And yeah, I hadn't seen him in a few years, so we caught up. And yeah, overall it's just fun to see other Americans, and for me at least, James, Gio, and Joe, I grew up playing against those guys. So yeah, it was a little bit like New York, New Jersey to Germany, so yeah, overall really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think as players, we all realize that more and more games are being added to the calendar. So for them to mandate one way or the other is, is what it is, unfortunately, and not something that we can control. I think, as players, we always talk about, okay, what's under our control, right? And the things that we can control, okay, let's focus and worry about those. But listen, it would be nice to be able to say, okay, like we have all of our players available and we don't have to worry about a separate competition that's a club competition, and we can focus on the Gold Cup as a group and like you said, a regional tournament, but we don't. So for us, it's like, okay, well, let's just focus on what we can and let's focus on the group that we have. And there's much bigger players than I who are speaking out about the number of games and the level that a lot of the players are having to go to, and the number of games that they're having to play in a calendar year. So we'll see what happens. But again, we're trying to focus on what we have in the room and in the locker room, and we'll go from there.
One reminder for those attending tomorrow's activities: they are CONCACAF controlled events, our official training session and media activities. So CONCACAF accreditation is required for entry and participation. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, J-Mine. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Have a good afternoon.